Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Basement Show with Mr. Nast. I am Mr. Nast. Joining us tonight for the Sports Gladiators is Mr. Ron.
Hey,
I just want to quickly say Happy Memorial Day to everybody. This is a national holiday for everybody. I mean, we remember those who have fallen defending our country. We appreciate their service. And yeah, I don't know if you want to add something to that, Ron. You're more than welcome to.
no, I hope everybody had a great holiday. Um, Weather was pretty nice. Uh, Hope everybody got a chance to enjoy the weekend.
I worked all weekend, but yes, I would second that. I hope everyone enjoyed the weather. It was a beautiful, picture perfect weekend, and I was stuck at Wegmans. Good evening, Barry. Nice to see you in chat. Thanks for popping in tonight. So, where do we start tonight? Oh, come on, don't start with the camera.
See, you spoke too soon.
I did. What? I got to fix it.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll start with NFL first because we usually do, just
Okay.
because. Um, couple things going on in the NFL right now. Now that we've kind of died down a little bit from the draft going on, and couple things that have been going on. Number one thing I had was an interesting development in the Jimmy Garoppolo saga.
Yep,
Uh,
I did hear that.
Turns out that they added an injury clause to his contract, which allows the team to have zero financial obligation to Jimmy if he's unable to play because of the foot. Because apparently, after they had signed him, he had a foot surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So the team was he failed the physical, so he had to have the surgery. But they had to put this addendum into the contract that says that if he can't play because of this foot injury, then they don't owe him any money.
Which is crazy to think because he signed for a pretty hefty contract when he signed with Vegas. So,
Yeah, he did. Yep. But the team's, I guess, protecting itself, for the most part.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's smart to do that, especially when you try to go after a high ticketed free agent quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo. So,
Yeah. I was looking forward to seeing what he could do in Vegas. So hopefully everything works out, but we'll see.
because now there was a story after they released that one, because now Tom Brady is majority owner of the team.
Right.
So they were saying, can the owner play quarterback for the team he owns?
The answer to that question is no, actually, because currently there is talk that the NFL is going to force him to permanently retire in order to approve his ownership of the team.
I mean, it's smart.
So there's a good chance that they're going to make that a condition of signing off on the special treatment he's getting already, because it's already been said that they're going to allow him to announce games as an owner, which
Interesting.
is unprecedented. It's never happened before.
Yeah.
There were pretty specific rules against it, but it wasn't Tom Brady.
I was gonna
So,
say because Vegas just recently went through that when Mike Mayock was their GM. They wouldn't allow him to work for NFL Network anymore because he
right,
was in the front office for, funny enough, Las Vegas.
right. But here we are with the same situation, but oh my God, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, put your hands up.
You know,
It
you
doesn't
know,
make sense, but so he's basically
I,
getting paid twice. Once through Mark Davis for being majority owner, and now he's gonna still make bank off that TV contract too.
yeah, yep.
Must be
So
nice.
must be nice. Well, I mean, now that he's dating Reese Witherspoon, he needs to, make sure he's got some available funds.
Yeah, well, I don't know why she would pick him. I guess with money, but
I guess. I don't know.
he's not from Alabama. We should gotta kind of move on, okay? You're supposed to sing "Sweet Home Alabama" from your movie, but now you're
Yeah.
"Viva Las Vegas." I don't
There
get
you, there you go.
it. Had to drop that
Uh,
in.
yeah. DeAndre Hopkins. That picture is starting to get a little clearer. It appears that now it's pretty much down to two teams, barring any last minute, uh, bidder jumping in. It looks like either the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills are going to be the landing spot for DeAndre Hopkins.
I mean, they both make sense. Kansas City a little bit more than Buffalo because Kansas City, I wouldn't say has that true number one wide receiver. Yes, they have Travis Kelsey, but given the fact that they let Juju Smith Schuster walk away, they don't have that solid, solidified number one wide receiver.
That's true.
Where a team like Buffalo still has Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but they have only Diggs because they wrote off
Well, a lot of
um,
people, Gabe Davis.
yeah, Gabe Davis, and there was somebody else who left too. So either one wouldn't be a logical landing spot, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and well, considering we'll see both those teams next season, so
Yeah, so we'll see Hopkins one way or the other.
yeah. The,
Um,
the crazy part about it, though, I'm sure you looked it up as well, is the fact that he had 2 years left on the contract with around $30 million. Arizona saved about $8 million in cap space by releasing him, but they
yep.
also took on an impressive $22.2 million in dead cap space.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
a rebuilding team to lose that much cap space by releasing somebody, I mean, it's not really the
With
smartest move.
with a first year head coach
Yeah.
and a new system.
So
Yeah, it spells maybe they're going to end up with the number one pick next year.
that is very possible. I mean, at that
That's
point,
just a recipe for disaster.
yeah, I mean, at that point, you got to think long term. If Kyler Murray doesn't come back from his ACL injury 100%, is it time to move on from Kyler and go and take one of these quarterbacks next year with that really high draft pick you're going to have?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
So good
I
luck,
think.
Jonathan Gann. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So anyway, one little piece of Eagles news is that Kelly Ringo signed his contract, so now all the draft picks are in the fold. He signed a 4-year, $4.6 million contract,
Gotta love
which
it.
is a rookie, standard rookie deal.
Yeah. And I had said a couple weeks ago, I actually really like the rookie cap now on these contracts because before, when like you have players like Matt Stafford coming into the league, these players aren't even stepping on the field yet, but they're making 50, $60 million guaranteed.
Yep,
You don't do that anymore, and I love it.
yep.
So whoever came up with the CBA and put that clause into it, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just saying.
Yeah. Um. So there was somebody who was that? There was a wide receiver somewhere that or separated shoulder in OTAs this week. I'm trying to think of who it was.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
it escapes me, but there was a receiver that is going to end up being out for the season who gets hurt in OTAs. For God's sakes.
I mean, very unfortunate for that team, whatever team it was. But there's
Yeah.
another wide receiver on the list that people are wondering if he can still play, and that's Julio Jones. Does that team maybe call him? 'Cause,
Yeah, I mean he's still out there.
I mean, he is getting a little bit older, but could still probably perform at a somewhat decent rate, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's really only one way to find out is for somebody to take a fly on him. You know.
Yeah, because Philly was tied to him too. And again, I'm like, we only have, like we were talking before the show, we only have one football, and you have a lot of weapons that can catch the ball. So bringing one of these veteran wide receivers in does not make sense.
Yep. Okay, here we go. It was Pittsburgh Steelers.
What was the wide receiver? Does it say?
Uh, hang on a second. Well, no, that was okay. So he just Anthony. This is a veteran wideout. Is Anthony Miller strained a hamstring, but
Okay.
the one I was thinking of was on the Patriots. Raekwon McMillan blew out his Achilles. He's going to miss the whole season.
Damn. So
So
that's
he wasn't a starter, but he was like the first backup.
Bill's probably not too happy. I mean, that's after what happened with the Patriots last week. I'm sure you heard about too,
Yep.
with them being fined $50,000 and uh forced to void out 2 OTA practices
Right.
because
Violations of the rules.
yes,
What?
because Joe Judge, oddly enough, who was on the Patriots staff, left for New York, then went back, is now the special teams coordinator again. Held meetings too long.
Yeah.
So I mean, Bill Belichick can't be happy right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess kind of used to it, you know. Just finds a different way every year to cheat.
Yeah, that is very, very true. I mean, you're not lying.
Yep. So I didn't have much more on football. It was kind of a quiet week on football this week. Oh, the other thing that I read about, which was interesting, is they made a casting decision on the John Madden biopic.
John
And
Madden biopic.
yes, there's a movie being made about John Madden.
Didn't know that.
And it basically has to do with the creation of the Madden video games. It goes all the way up into there and then into his broadcasting. And they cast a rather unusual person to play John Madden.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Will Farrell.
No,
Will Farrell as John Madden.
I don't see it.
Well, I guess we're going to have to kind of wait and see. It just got announced. They just signed, but it's probably still another year away. But I had trouble envisioning it.
I'm sitting here thinking, Will Power John Madden. I mean, no, I'm not seeing it at all.
I mean, he is a pretty skilled impressionist. So, I mean, his Harry Carey was dead on.
Yeah, but
And John Madden's not really that far from Harry Carey as far as like his verbal, skills.
I mean, that's gonna be a very hard sell on me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Michael Keaton as Batman was a hard sell on me until I saw the finished product.
Wow, we're really doing that
I
comparison.
I spoke out against that as soon as they announced that casting and said there's no way Michael Keaton can be Batman. And I was 100% wrong. He ended up being the best Batman, in my opinion.
No, I mean a lot of people say that, or it's either Michael Keaton 1 or Christian Bale 1A. I mean,
Yeah. I give them both props.
yeah,
Anybody but Val Kilmer
even
or
George
Clooney.
Clooney. Wow.
Or Clooney.
Okay. I mean, so if it's about John Madden, that means they're gonna have to do like a Pat Summerall type gig as well.
Yeah.
So who the hell are they gonna
So
get to cast him?
who do you get to be Pat Summerall? It
Hmm.
would have to be somebody a little bit older who could play off of Will Farrell.
I mean, I have a dream team in mind that would actually be kind of funny, but I don't think the one person who would do it.
Okay.
Bob
Who?
Euchre.
Oh, nice. But
Imagine that.
his voice is so distinctive.
Yeah.
It'd be hard, I think, for him to do that because in Major League, um, he he improvised everything that he said in the booth pretty much. None of that was really scripted. They had an outline. That was it.
Okay.
And Euchre just improvised the whole thing.
And he was
So
great at it. I mean,
I
I loved it.
yeah, I mean it was awesome.
Haley Doyle here.
Harry Doyle, yep.
From a sold out Memorial Stadium. Listen to the crowd go, hey!
What was
But
his other announcer's name?
Monty,
Monty, yes.
take over
That's
for me,
it.
Monty. I'm in the bag.
Nice.
Man. Good old Bob Euchre.
Yeah, man. I must be in the front row. I watched some of those old Miller Lite commercials on YouTube. Like there was one that had like a bunch of them in a row,
Yeah,
and they were hilarious.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
going back and watching them again, funny as
Well, when
hell.
we did the Throwback Thursday show last Thursday, and I had the Budweiser frogs. So I
Yes.
typed in Budweiser flags on YouTube and went back and watched all those old commercials and felt so old considering they came
Uh-huh.
out in 1996.
And
I was like, wow.
after the frogs was the lizards.
Yep. And then
Louis,
yep.
Louis,
Then we stepped up to the Clydesdale,
Frank and Louis, I think it was.
something like that. But
Yeah. So
man.
yeah. Yep. So okay, well, I mean, some other local stuff. Sixers got a new head coach.
Yeah, and they picked you guy.
They did. I that's the guy that I envisioned that they should go after, and they did. Um, Nick Nurse, who won a championship in 2019 with the Toronto Raptors.
Again, and beat
He
those
did
Sixers.
he did previously work for the Sixers at one time as an assistant. Um, and
When?
what's that?
I'm trying to think what year.
I don't remember what year off top of my head. He was with Toronto. He was 227 and 163. They won the championship in 2019,
Uh-huh.
and his reputation is for developing young players. So the hope is that he helps Maxey turn the corner. And the other thing that it means is that it's a very high likelihood that based on those facts and his MO, if you will, that it could spell Harden being out of town.
I think they knew Harden was going to leave anyway. A lot of reports have him going back to Houston.
Yeah, but I think either his agent is floating that, or he asked Houston to do him a solid to try and milk some money out of the Sixers. I
Yeah.
think that all along he thought that he could force them to hire D'Antoni.
Well, a lot of people had thought that a couple years back when they
Yeah.
fired Brett Brown that D'Antonio was going to be the next one in line.
Well, and they thought it again with the day that they fired Doc. Everybody on WIP, first thing they're saying is just don't let it be D'Antoni, because that was everybody's fear.
Yeah, well, you had said that last week on Testy Stick that you didn't want him.
No, I don't want him. I wanted Nick Nurse, and I got him. So hopefully that helps develop some of these young guys like Melton and Maxey, and and kind of starts the process. I almost said the P word. Sorry,
Oh,
I almost said the P word.
don't do
Sorry,
it.
Sixers fans. I'm not going to say the P word, but it's going to start to develop people for the future.
Now, my question, Nick Nurse, okay, You're a head coach. You're known to develop players. Do you keep Sam Cassell on your coaching staff, or do you move on from him too?
I think that that's up to Nurse. I mean, he may want to bring his staff, that he worked with before. You know, if he wanted to stay and Nick Nurse wants him to stay, then I have no problem with him staying. But I'm sure there's going to be people that make offers out there for him, knowing that he's, one of these young up and coming names.
True. Kind of my buddy Miz in chat. If Embiid doesn't stay healthy and put the team on his back, it really doesn't matter who the coach is. I mean, that's a pretty blatant but obvious statement. I mean, this
Yeah,
team is around Embiid, and Miz had said in our group chat earlier, Nick Nurse is known for trying to build that superstar and have the team wrap around him. When they won in 2019 in Toronto, he had Kawhi Leonard and they averaged like 30 points a game.
right.
So Embiid is going to be the next Kawhi Leonard in Nick Nurse's opinion, probably. So
Yeah.
you got to keep Embiid healthy no matter what, though, like Miz said.
Yeah, you got to keep him healthy. You got to, you know, uh, obviously he's shown that he comes up small in the playoffs, unfortunately, which is going to, always going to be the knock on him until he proves otherwise.
Yeah.
He just, he has a tendency to just kind of get timid. I mean, as aggressive as he tries to be in the regular season, he has nights where he's ultra aggressive. But then, he gets into these modes where he's trying to drive the lane that's all jammed up and ends up turning the ball over. Can't even keep it in his hands.
True.
So he does that so many times in the playoffs. I mean, I could count that in that game 6. I probably saw him do that 6 or 7 times in the fourth quarter. They
Yeah.
they had him bottled up, and he just run through and just give the ball out.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the Sixers also is they have no draft picks and they have very little to no cap.
Yep.
So, I mean, the name that like jumps out at me right away is Tobias Harris. If you're gonna blow this team
Yeah.
up, you gotta try to move Tobias this year because he's due about 33 something $1 million,
Yeah.
and B, he's on his final year of a contract finally. So maybe a team will take a chance and bring somebody like him in as an expiring contract.
Yeah, but the problem is that as far as if Harden walks, um, he's due 30 some million this year,
Mm,
and they can only, because of he was he wasn't a max deal, but he was a re-sign. They're only going to get credit for about 10 million on the cap. So you're going to lose a $30 million player, but you can only get $10 million worth of player back,
true. I mean,
because if you were signing your own player, it'd be different. That doesn't count against the cap.
I mean, no matter what we look at, like the Sixers have to find some way to get another piece in here to help them because, like,
Well, I think that the reason that they took Nick Nurse is that they want to bring in a couple younger guys because they know Harden's going to go,
yeah,
and they know that Harris is on his last leg. Basically, he's got one more year. Um, that maybe they can bring in a couple young guys and Nick Nurse can work his magic again, and Maxey takes a turn, and Maxey and Embiid become the the tandem that controls the pace of the game.
I can see that. I mean, you also have we had talked a couple weeks ago in our group chat, Jalen Springer. I mean, you're going
Yeah.
into a second year of Springer. It's time to show up, kid. Like you're going to be called upon this year. You got to step your game up. You're going to be playing 15, 20 minutes a game because you have Melton coming back. Yeah, PJ Tucker if he comes back. like 1 or 2 more years.
Yeah.
Maxi, Embiid, like Harris, but like you don't have much depth.
No.
So
And guys like George Yang, he's got to go.
gone.
There's a couple other guys that just need to get out of town.
True.
So I think without actually blowing it up, I think that they can retool it a little bit, but it's going to take identifying some good talent. So, uh, they're really going to earn their keep in the front office trying to put this together and not have a situation where you're going to drop off the face of the earth.
True. Nurse did well coaching and developed Siakam and surrounded him and Leonard with veteran guys with a solid squad coming off the bench. There you
Yeah.
go. I mean,
Yeah.
the
And
problem
that's
with the
that's
Sixers. Go ahead.
that's the formula. That's what they got to do.
It is the formula, but that's the problem with the Sixers the last handful of years is they put all their eggs in the starting five, and you don't really have that bench.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what hurts them. I mean, that's what was great about the 2001 team when we made it to the finals. You had a starting five, and then your backup five was almost like a starting five.
Yeah.
You had that depth to help later in
Mhm.
the games when you're blowing teams out. First team out, second team go in, and they could still hold a lead and build on one. You haven't seen that with the Sixers in a long time now.
Well, I mean, you don't see it in that many teams around the league because that's just the 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 nature. The whole concept has been changed. I mean, just the NBA's become a star driven, one or two, maybe three guys, and then just whatever else you got. I mean, you got three guys who are the only ones touching the ball. You could have the best, 6, 7, and 8 there is, but if they're not touching the ball enough, they're not going to really benefit you all that much.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, the people is forbidden, but it might actually come down to doing that process again.
Yeah, yeah, it really has, uh, John. I agree. It's just become a star driven, player controlled league. A lot of times some of these coaches that get promoted, they're not even experienced coaches. They're just guys who are going to, be a face, who maybe do good in press conferences, uh, because the players run the team. I mean, they honestly do. The NBA is, uh, you mentioned, back in the Iverson years, you know, and like a guy like Jimmy Lynam. I mean, Lynam knew the game. I mean, Lynam was a coach. Um, some of these coaches that have come through the ranks are just kind of stand back and let the players do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, well, you're seeing that right now with the Boston, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, he's got no clue. I mean, he's just like go do it.
Stands like this all game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing he doesn't do is the John Gruden clap. He just you know John Gruden's famous clap on the sidelines. That's the extent of his communication skills.
I've seen him do that. Don't lie. I mean, that, I believe that game's actually going on right now. Game 7 between Boston and Miami. So
Yeah.
who would have thought that Miami would
God, I
go up 3-0 and then Boston come back and win the next three?
yeah.
Even though that game
I
Saturday night, the
just
way that ended was nuts.
I can't stand the idea of Boston moving on.
Oh,
I really hope that they don't.
there you go. Miami's up at 52-41 at halftime.
Okay. Well, nothing's set in stone, but go Heat. That's all I got to say.
I,
Go Heat.
I know one of our viewers that used to watch the show a lot, Tyler the Breach, is a big Miami Heat fan. I tried
Yeah.
to message him on Saturday night and he didn't want none of it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I like Jimmy buckets, man. Butler is the. I was sad to see him go. If we had kept him instead of Simmons, you know, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, very true. Steve Kerr had zero coaching experience and landed a job and won four as a player, obviously five as a player with Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Steve Kerr probably has the most championships combined now, player coach.
yeah. I don't know about. I'd be curious to know the answer to that.
I have to look that up for next week.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, Steve Kerr's another one. Like a lot of you're seeing a lot of former players now getting coaching positions because they've been in their shoes. They know like certain things and all that. But the game has changed so much
yeah.
from the late '90s to now. It's like it's a whole different game.
Plug that Chicago Bulls team into the current NBA. I don't know. I don't know how they match up.
I'd still probably put them in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be in the top 10, but I mean, they're not going to be as dominant in the current game as they were in the game back when they were winning all those
Oh
championships.
no. Even though Steve Kerr evolutionized the 3-point shot, so I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy that used to kill me with the 3-point shot was Danny Ainge.
oh yeah.
Danny Ainge was one of the most deadly 3-point shooters there were. I mean, he would just kill us every single time we played him.
And then Reggie Miller wasn't half bad neither, though.
Reggie Miller was a great 3-point shooter. Absolutely.
I mean, you can go on and on with that list. I mean,
Yeah,
and you're not even talking like the '70s and '80s when people were shooting that far, but only counted still as 2 points, not even three.
right. Exactly.
Imagine back then, like the Kareem and all that, if they actually counted as 3-point shots, how many points they
Mhm.
would actually wind up having in their career.
How long before there's a 4-point shot?
Well, the way Steph Curry shoots, I give it probably another 5 years after he retires and say, okay, we saw how ridiculous he is. If you can make a half court heave, we'll give you a four.
Yeah,
I've always said it should be that way anyway, honestly.
yeah. I
I
agree
hated
with you there.
I hated us playing the Pacers back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Reggie. Who else was on those teams back in the day? Before, after Reggie Miller, you had like Jermaine O'Neal, Von Artest,
Our
uh,
test. Yeah.
Jamal Tinsley.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that I know this much about basketball scares me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not like we're talking hockey.
Yeah, because you know nothing about hockey.
I only know a little bit about hockey. I'm
Who's in
excited
the,
about I'm excited about Jonesy taking over.
that is an experiment that a lot of people are eager to see, but also eager to see how fast it implodes.
Well, time will tell. I think that I've heard a couple interviews with him and extensive interviews where he talked for like 30-40 minutes with Glenn Macnow. I think it was last Saturday and or Saturday or Sunday. And he's saying all the right things. I mean, he's got the communication skills, he's got the experience. He's certainly beloved in this town.
Yeah, I will give him that.
So I think that, you know, there's not much further we could go down as Flyers fans at this point. I think that we're real close to rock bottom.
Yeah,
And the one thing that scares me is that now a lot of the chatter is, well, we've got 2 or 3 goalies in the system right now. Maybe we could move a Carter Hart you know, for some draft capital and maybe some help on offense.
which you desperately need.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna
You
say
know,
as
and
well.
Carter Hart's already come out and stated that he wasn't really interested in being part of a rebuild.
Yeah, I remember you saying that one week. I mean,
Yeah. So if they're going to start stripping it down, then they're going to end up moving Carter Hart.
yeah, I mean, the goalie I'm mad they gave up so soon in his career. Now look at him, it's Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
You trade him away for fucking Steve Mason,
Yeah.
and now Bob's in his a Stanley Cup final. He's won a handful of Vezina trophies. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. But I mean, he wasn't playing that way when he was here because he wasn't playing every game.
Yeah, he was
You know,
also young when he was here.
he was a backup.
Yeah, to the greatest goalie in the universe. My name is Igor
Yes.
Vazvadra, whatever the hell his name was. I forget his name,
Yeah.
but
The spaceman,
yeah, Brizgalov, there it was.
Rizgalov. Yeah.
I'm the greatest goalie in the whole universe. But I mean, the Flyers need a lot. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's not going to happen in a day.
they destroyed Hut's confidence. They brought him out with no team in front of him. They killed the guy.
Yeah, they did. They did. Absolutely. They played zero defense in front of him. He was constantly had people in the crease and nobody had any interest in clearing them out. That's what killed me. They got so timid on defense. They get these aggressive defensemen who are, guys who are looking to go score and they forget that they're defensemen and they should be playing defense.
Yeah.
And, Carter Hart's there getting peppered, 40 shots a game. And, he gives up 3 goals and they can't score, they can't score 4 goals to have them win.
Yeah, there was another Philly athlete that had the same problem for a couple of years. You remember who that was? Aaron Noah. He would always have a dominant game,
Yeah.
but then give up 1-2 runs, and they would lose by a score of 2-0 because the offense couldn't do shit. It's the same
Yep.
scenario almost.
Yeah, there were a couple years where he got 0 run support. You're absolutely right.
I mean, part of my
It was
language,
almost
but
sick. It was almost sick.
yeah, I mean, part of my language, but it's the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron Noah was in that same exact boat that Carter Hart is. I mean, you would give up maybe 1 or 2 runs, and then you had nothing to back it up.
All right. So thanks for stopping in, John. We appreciate
Thanks,
good
Miz.
good knowledge, man.
He's part of my Nobody Sports group. He's a really knowledgeable guy. So
Yeah, I can tell.
we have a lot of back and forth in that chat, and he's always putting me in my place sometimes. So
Okay. So
since
I
I
guess,
brought up Aaron Noah, should we switch gears to the Phillies?
yeah, I guess we switch to the Phillies now and do a little Phillies talk. Um they're 25-28. They are 7 games out still after a split with the Braves. 2-2. The Braves are still leading at 32-21. And then Miami's 2 games over 500. And the Mets are at 500 and we're 3 games under. So the Mets are 5.5 out. The Marlins are 4.5 out.
That's scary to know Miami's in second.
Yeah, but I don't think they can sustain it though. They've had some good breaks in the schedule and they haven't had to play, the division that much.
True.
So it'll be interesting to see how June shakes out.
I mean, I was happy to get 2 in Atlanta this Saturday. Zach Wheeler
Yeah.
pitched on Saturday, I believe,
Yes, correct.
and it had a hell of an outing.
He sure did. His ERA went from 4.11 to 3.6. So now he's under 4 ERA for the season. And then on the flip side, the disaster, the waiver pickup Dylan Covey gets knocked out after 2/3 of an inning on Sunday night, and they get whooped 11-4.
Ugh. Sorry, had to clear my
Yeah,
throat.
yeah. I mean, and then yesterday, giving up, 7 runs in the first inning. Insane.
Well, what's the word that you always use when it comes to the Phillies?
Inconsistency.
There you go. We're on the same page. I mean, I always look forward to hearing that word because I know it is the dead honest truth how the Phillies play this year, and honestly, it sucks. I mean,
And it's not just this year. I mean, they've been notorious for it for years.
true.
Score 12 today and get shut out tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, there was this game last week I saw. I don't know what the following day was, but the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays. Divisional game, mind you,
Yep.
and two of the best teams in the American League East. Toronto put up a 20 spot on.
Wow.
It was the final score. It was like 20-1. I don't know what the final day was, but 20-1 against a division team is impressive.
Right, but 10 of those runs were scored with a position player pitching.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And that's why I love you. To keep me in track.
Yeah, so that had something to do with it too. So. But still, even at 10, 10-1, still whooping.
Yeah, especially interdivision game. I mean, you don't see that. I mean, normally you
Right.
see back and forth like 5-4, 5-3 games, unless you're the Phillies and give up 11. But
I think yesterday, I saw that Tampa Bay was playing the Dodgers, and the score was 11-10.
wow.
Tampa Bay and the Dodgers yesterday. So that must have been a heck of a game to watch.
Possible World Series preview.
yeah. But here's the big news. There's been a Jake Cave sighting. My boy Jake Cave, who I politicked to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
I called up Dombrowski. I gave him my 2 cents. He made the roster. It was all good. Then they sent him down when they activated Bryce Harper.
Yep.
So Jake Cave goes down to AAA Lehigh Valley, and his May went a little bit like this. He's hitting a lusty .437 with 7 homers, 16 doubles, and 22 RBIs for a 500 Lehigh Valley Iron Pig team. Let's go, Jake Cave. Get him back up here. Get my Jake Cave fix, man.
And who do you send down?
Honestly, he's not an outfielder. That's the problem. I mean, I would probably send down Pache.
Christian Pache, the one they just got from Oakland. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, they got him on Rule 5, so he has to be on the roster.
Put him on DL.
if they put him down, then they have to offer him back.
True.
So, but yeah, I mean, Pache, he's hitting under 100.
Ugh.
I mean, and Jake Cave is tearing the cover off the ball. It's just, hey, I mean, I'm not really happy with him bringing Guthrie back. I mean, and throwing him, and he's going to throw him right in the lineup. I think Cody Clemens has made a case. I mean, he's playing some good ball right now. He's hitting the ball great. He's making good contact. He's playing good defense. It's going to be a shame to see him get relegated back to the bench again.
True. I mean, I forget what movie it was. It was a baseball movie. They said we're gonna sit you for a week, but we're gonna say you have a hamstring injury. Do this. Why don't you just do the same thing with Pache? Make up a fake bullshit injury, put him on
Yeah,
a 15, 30-day DL, and
yeah.
there you go. Now you bring back up Jake Cave.
Don't be shocked. It happens all the time.
I
There's
know
mis
nothing.
there's mystery, muscle strain, rib cage strain, something they can't prove on an X-ray.
Yeah, hamstring tightness.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So as far as stats go, the leader in the clubhouse for batting average for the Phils is, of course, Bryce, batting at 306.
Mm-hmm.
And then Castellanos is right on the 300 mark. And then Bryson Stott is at 292. So
Nice.
they're the top three on the team right now. RBIs, Bohm is still way out in front at 37. Castellanos at 28, and then Schwarb at 27.
I mean, you're getting production, but you're not getting it consistent. Like you said, the word I love it, inconsistent.
Yeah, it really is. Because I mean, here's the real one of the real keys is now this team hit a lot of home runs last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Home runs this year, you got Schwarb has 13. The next closest is Alec Bohm with 6.
True.
And then Trey Turner's got 5. So I mean, they are not hitting a ton of homers at all. I mean, it's all, they're
Small
leaving a
ball.
lot of guys on base too. I think the other day they had like left 13 on base, men in scoring position.
Damn.
Hey Sam, how you
Mr.
doing, man?
Simmons popping in the chat. He had messed up on Twitch, so I fixed the quote. Good everything, basement dweller Sam. It's good evening. What are you gonna do with this guy?
Hey,
But no,
we're not grading grammar today.
but no, the Phillies they got to start hitting. I mean, you don't have to kill the ball. I get that. You don't have to hit for power every game, but you got to do something.
Well, first and foremost, they need a fifth starter.
Yes, hands down.
Because this guy's probably going to get one more start, and Covey, and if he don't show something this next start out, he may be short lived. I mean, they might be, they might have to pull what's his name back out of the bullpen. Bomb
Bomb.
or what? Yeah, what's his name? The guy who was the starter, and then they put him in the bullpen when Ranger came back. Matt Bohm.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're talking about. You map home. You're right.
Yeah, Matt Bohm. So they definitely, they may be forced to bring him back out into the rotation, but they're afraid that he's not going to last because his arm's not stretched out enough.
True.
Because he came into the season as a reliever, and that's how they prepped him in spring training.
Yeah. Or could
But
you trade Christian Pache away and maybe get a fifth starter out of that?
yeah, I don't think he has much value batting 086,
True.
or it's somewhere close to that. I think.
Well,
I
see
know
now.
he's under 100.
Well, this is where you can blame Dave Dombrowski. Okay, you have a certain somebody doing an open tryout for the league this year. Said they look fucking amazing, but the Phillies passed up on him, and now he's out west. You should have brought back Cole Hamels.
Yeah.
Because even if he's your fifth starter, you can still get 4 or 5 innings out of him.
And it's more than they were getting out of these guys, out of
Falter.
Falter, yeah, who went 0-7 before they ditched him, and he had an ERA almost 9, I think.
Ugh. Sorry, chills.
Yeah. So
Then what about Painter? Is he coming back anytime soon or no?
they're probably not going to bring him back this year. I would seriously doubt it. I think that they are definitely not going to take any chances with him at all. They are going to probably keep him shut down for the majority of the season after the surgery.
Gotcha.
And then maybe at best case scenario, maybe a September call up.
And then only other one I can think of who was a free agent, I don't know if he still is or that's a law, is maybe you give Dallas Keuchel a call.
Yeah, I mean, there was talk in spring training that they were looking at him, and I don't think he signed on anywhere. I mean, he can't be any worse than what they were trotting out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at this point, I'm just throwing out names that I remember being tied with Philly before the season started.
Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about that, about the possibility of bringing him in. I mean, maybe now's the time.
Maybe. I mean, like you said, can't hurt.
Can't hurt. Can't get much worse.
Actually, it can, but I won't say anything.
Well, it can, but I mean, you had Falter go 0-7, and you have this guy, getting shelled like he's in Pearl Harbor.
Wow, we're using that reference.
Can't really be much worse.
Wow, a Pearl Harbor reference on Memorial Day.
Seven runs in the first inning. He didn't even make it out of the first.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point. Like Danny Jackson back in the day.
Danny Jackson. Oh my God. There's a name. You could go back and think about the worst pitchers that have been through here.
Sam, you're lucky I don't remove that comment. We do not say go Astros in my chat. I can delete that comment, Mr. Simmons. Don't press your luck. Go bang on a trash can somewhere.
Those darn Texan guys. Yeah, go bang on a trash can. Curveball. Fastball. Slider. Come in.
Well, fastball is 1.
Yeah.
2 seams 2. Slider. And then curve.
Okay, there you
go. Now my knuckle hurts.
More than that, it's, start throwing the dollar hot dogs. I think you have to hit like 10 times for that.
I don't have any hot dogs down here tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry. Next thing I know, I'll have someone breaking in my house and throwing hot dogs at me. Thanks, Rod.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
Yeah, I hope so. We're a family-friendly show here. I mean, keep the peace. Peace? Come with peace?
Cucumbers, yes. Hot dogs, no. Apparently.
Speaking of cucumbers, what in the hell was wrong with you by sending that TikTok?
Hey, there's, it was close enough to Tuesday night, when there's, a lot of cucumber talk, it seems. So I just figured it was appropriate or inappropriate in that case.
Well, that's my cousin Kelsey. I know I had saw one of her Facebook posts today. They went to the Indoor Lacrosse Championship. Who Colorado Mammoth were trying to defend their title today. Okay. So I don't know if they won or not, but that's where she was. So she's a big Colorado Mammoth fan. She's gone like how I go on the road for Eagles games. She's done that with this team.
Is that professional lacrosse?
Yes, I believe so.
Like the old what was team in the Wings in Philly?
Yes. Same league.
Yeah.
The NLL, National Lacrosse League.
There you go. I watched some of the college championship. Man, those are some exciting games.
Dallas Stars are down 4-0 after 2. Uh-oh. Better get busy, Mr. Simmons. If not, Vegas is going to the Cup. Yes, Las Vegas has a hockey team on it. They're called the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, the Golden Knights. Yep.
And the winner of that series plays the Florida Panthers. Hey, you want to talk about a team that hit rock bottom? The Florida Panthers, a couple years back, only averaged 6,000 fans a game.
So if you're the NHL and you're staring down the barrel of the Florida Panthers versus the Vegas Knights for the Cup,
Hey,
are you just slitting your wrists right now?
actually, no, because you got two favorable destinations, South Florida and Las Vegas, so your revenues are going to go through the roof.
Yeah, but the TV ratings are going to be shit. Seriously, I mean, nobody cares about hockey in Florida. You know that.
Just the way you said that, that's why I'm laughing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
You just like, you look straight into the camera like, you know your TV ratings are going to be shit.
That's it.
You said it was the most convenient straight face I've ever seen you have.
Because it's true.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. I mean, hell, half the team drowned in spring training.
We're busy playing slot machines if you're in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. Or at the chicken ranch.
That's true. Mr. Jack, good evening, sir. Nice to see you.
Hey, Jack.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a little bit of a quiet week in sports this week.
True.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You know, coming into the holiday.
No,
but I mean,
lying.
there's a lot of talk about what's wrong with the Phillies. I mean,
okay.
that's a lot of conversation that's going on now. And those people that are trying to point a finger at Rob Thompson, I really don't think that Rob Thompson has a heck of a lot to do with what the problem is right now. I mean, clearly the problem is pitching. Number one. Number two, inconsistency in the offense. Number three, inconsistency in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you, hey, Kelsey.
Kelsey!
If you throw all those things together, you get what you're getting right now. You get 7 games out of first place.
True.
You know, it's just, but I really, in hearing all these guys that are like, you know, kind of whispering, kind of saying, you know, maybe Rob Thompson is part of the problem. Oh, he's too friendly with the players. He's this, he's that. He's just like, I mean, nobody can put up any argument about the kind of job that he did pulling this team back together last year. But I mean, you can't expect that he's going to go into this year and be able to wave the magic wand and all of a sudden, you know, go on, you know, 15-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Not until these pitchers get their shit together.
True. Well, also in his defense too, you go into the season without basically your starter team. You don't have your full plethora of pitching that you had last year.
Yeah. You lost your one of your best power hitters in Rhys Hoskins. You had no Bryce Harper. You had injuries in the pitching staff and slow starts by your number 1 and your number 2.
True.
The bullpen had its struggles there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Let's go Nuggets. Also, Colorado Mammoth are 1 game away. Okay, so I'm guessing they won today.
We got the Mammoth update. We're good.
Yes, I had mentioned the Mammoth earlier for you, Charles, and I know she's pulling for the Denver Nuggets in basketball.
Okay.
Because being from Colorado, Denver kind of all makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need something else to be positive about, you know. Russell Wilson.
And I'm busy watching this on my other monitor, so I just figured I'd pop it in for a second.
Okay.
Let's go Miami. That's all I can say.
Yeah, go Miami, man. They won 16-10.
Wow.
The
Who they?
Mammoth.
What team did they play? Let me guess. Toronto. Toronto's always really good at indoor lacrosse. I'm curious to see if
Are
she.
they really? Is that true?
From what she tells me, yes. The one game I
Toronto.
went, the one game I saw when I was out there before, was versus the Vancouver Stealth.
Okay, but here's the thing for me. Okay. I've never actually played lacrosse, but I have handled the equipment, so to speak.
Okay.
I knew somebody and we had to catch, you know, I actually uh, a lacrosse ball is like a ball head outside of it. Now, if you take that ball to Canada and it freezes, that damn thing's going to kill somebody.
Yeah,
You know what I
you're not
mean?
lying. Yep.
I mean, that's crazy.
Lacrosse is there you go. Lacrosse is the national sport in Canada. Sam says.
What?
And the Mammoths are playing Buffalo, so another northeast, far
Yeah,
northeast team that plays in the winter. Going back to what you were just saying,
that's crazy.
the fun fact so far: the Mammoths have won the championship twice. Both times were against Buffalo.
Yep. I believe you, Sam. I'm not doubting you, but man, that's a weird one.
That's what we call ballsy. Just
That's
kidding.
ballsy. Yeah, yeah.
I had to. I had to. You guys can laugh and beat me up all you want in the chat. I mean, I went for the opponent and I got
You got it. Yeah, I got to give you that one.
it.
Johnny won, Ron nothing.
Yeah. Everyone clipped that. That'll be the first time and the last time I won against Ron.
Oh man.
Actually, that's not true. I got him before already. So
Yeah, you
okay.
got me on a
Stay
couple
tuned.
of movie trivias. Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of stay tuned, I'm actually winning a bid on eBay right now for that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I cracked up at that movie. I remember that pretty well.
That's a great movie. I
John
mean,
Ritter, Pam Dauber.
yeah. I just love Jeffrey Jones and Eugene Levy in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Spike. Because
Spike. Yeah. Yep.
it's funny. Jack said earlier in the chat he was listening to "Beat It" by Michael Jackson, and part of that movie, John Ritter goes into the music video, and they're
Right.
doing the Thriller.
Yep.
So I mean, it's funny. I mean, yeah, I believe Sam too. Sam's like us; he has nothing but stupid knowledge. So if he says it's a national sport, I believe him. Now, if we had Curtis come in and confirm it, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to the third source.
Yeah.
But there's one other sport that I was curious to maybe bring up. I don't know how you feel about it though.
What,
And no,
NASCAR?
no, it's not NASCAR.
Okay.
If people haven't seen, one of our hosts has decided to leave the show, Darth Nexus 5, which I fully support him. He's trying to build his own stream. You can follow him on Twitch, follow him on Facebook. He's an excellent COD player. He's a family member. He's my brother. I support him in whatever he does. But with him leaving, we decided to next Turnbuckle Thursday. So now, do we tie in wrestling chat with this show a little bit, or do we just let it go?
Well, I mean, you had a big just coming off a big pay-per-view. You can talk a little bit about that.
Night of Champions, which was actually a
Right.
really good pay per view.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there wasn't a huge number of matches, but every match, was significant.
The only
I
one that
mean,
people didn't really like was the Rhea Ripley and Natalia match. They thought that was more like a squash match, which I kind of agree.
well, I mean, you really can't give Natalia much of a chance to, you know, uh, it's not like she's going to take the title off of Rhea Ripley,
No,
and
but
but I mean, she's going to give you a good technical match because she's a
and
trainer. She trains these all of them.
yeah, but that match was all of like 2-3 minutes at the most.
Yeah, but I mean, they needed a throwaway match to throw in there. You know, then why not throw her in there with somebody who can who can take a squash and is not going to be upset about it.
I would be upset. It was my birthday. Natalia's birthday was on Saturday. I'd be pissed as shit.
Hey, but she was on a pay-per-view. How many times has she been left off?
More than I can count.
And the Saudi pay-per-views, they make extra for.
Oh yeah, they make bank.
They make big time bank for being in a match in Saudi Arabia. So I'm sure she didn't mind the payday at all.
Yeah. And then people always ask when they watch matches in Saudi, why are the women wearing funny looking outfits? It is a religion thing over in Saudi. You're not allowed to expose your skin if you're a female.
When they first started going over, they weren't even allowed to wrestle.
Yes, that is true.
And they made an exception when they signed this long-term deal, and then the women were allowed to actually wrestle.
Yes.
But yeah, they can't show the skin.
Which
That
I
is
could,
true.
and Vince has to make sure the check's clear this time because of what happened in 1 year. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got pulled right off the tarmac.
Yep. I mean, my opinion on the match of the night on Saturday night, even though I love the tag team match, I love seeing Jimmy Uso turn on Roman Reigns, which was freaking phenomenal. To finally see someone sticking
Yeah.
up the Roman Reigns and all that. I gotta say the match of the night was probably Seth versus AJ, the first match of the night. That
Yeah,
new
which
heavyweight
which
belt.
I was surprised it was the first match. That was kind of a shock to me. I think that could have easily been the main event.
Could,
But
but
the
you're not gonna
Cody,
upstage. You're not gonna upstage Roman Reigns though right now. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, that's the hot story right now.
Yes.
And I mean, and it's just getting closer to the point where Roman's going to drop them titles at some point in the not so distant future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going over 1,000 days now.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of time. And it was good to see Seth. That was a great match. It was good to see Seth coming out on top. I think that he earned it. And I think that if I had to talk about people who are going to be stepping into the title picture, I mean, please God, don't let it be Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see looking long term. I mean, guys like Gunther. I see a guy like Drew getting another shot. Because his title reign was all during the COVID time when there was no crowd. So he never really got to experience being a champ in front of a live crowd.
Very true.
Because by the time they went back to live again, they'd stripped him of the title.
True. I did read a story today though. It's just a report. It's not official unless they announced it tonight on Monday Night Raw. They said Seth Rollins' first title defense will be next month at Money in the Bank, and apparently, supposedly, it's going to be against Brock Lesnar.
I'm
I'm not
I'm
a
so
fan.
done with Lesnar.
Yes.
I mean, it's no.
The only way I could see them doing it, okay, hear me out. I know you're tired of Lesnar. Right now, him and Cody have a great story going.
Yeah.
It's 1-1 when you look at the matches because Brock beat him at Night of Champions, and then Cody beat him the pay per view before. Okay.
Right.
So say you set up a Lesnar versus Seth match for Money in the Bank. Cody screws Brock out of the championship.
Okay.
Because the next pay per view after Money in the Bank is Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
So You have Cody screw Brock out of the championship. Seth retains whatever. Sets up round 3. Cody versus Brock inside Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just the Brock thing is just I'm over it now. I mean, I like Heyman with
Mm-hmm.
Roman. Um, I was a fan. I watched with interest when Brock and Heyman were together, and mostly because of Heyman, honestly, because he just is that good.
Oh, and the mic is incredible.
He's just amazing, and he's been doing it forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I remember those old ECW promos.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is.
Yeah, yep. So uh, everything else was pretty predictable. Uh,
Except the Bianca Belair Oscar match. I didn't see
yeah,
giving the belt back to Oscar. I'm proud. I'm happy for her, but I thought they would keep it on Bianca a little bit longer.
yeah. I think that they've gotten to the point with Bianca where they're just they don't really know, especially what else to do with her. I
True.
mean, the focus is starting to come off of her and come into, now you got Trish, and Trish wrestled an amazing match for
Yeah.
for as long as she was out of the business. I mean, it's like she never left. I
True.
mean, she is amazing in the ring with Becky, and you got to think that Bailey's going to be in the mix at some point in the not so distant future,
Yep.
and uh, there's potential there in that women's division to have some exciting matches. I mean, Asuka, yeah, Asuka's experience. I mean, she's a vet. Um, she's slightly over with the crowd. I
True.
mean, she's better as a heel than she was as a face, definitely. And the mist thing is, obviously they've trotted that back out again.
Yeah, that
He
used to be an old Tajiri thing back in the day.
was the great Muda before him.
Yes, you're right.
So yeah, that's always been you know a New Japan kind of thing going on.
True.
So it'll be interesting to see going forward. But I mean, they brought up a lot of women talent from NXT
He did.
uh, with the draft. So I mean, um, now Liv Morgan's out with an injury, and apparently they're going to put now they're going to trot Shotzi back out to tag with Raquel because
I did see that.
Liv's going to be on the shelf for at least 6 months, I think.
Yeah, her shoulder, and then the same match, Dakota Sky
Yeah,
was trying to protect Liv because she knew she was hurt. Wind
right,
up tearing her ACL.
right. Yep. Two
So,
injuries in the same match.
I mean, kind of crazy to think about when you look at it.
Yep. So
Uh,
yeah, so the whole bloodline thing's going to be interesting how that shakes out.
yep, you'll see that on Friday night because they're all on SmackDown together. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to tune in on Friday night while we're doing movie night to see what happens with that.
I'm glad to see that they didn't just give Sammy and KO the titles and strip them 2 weeks later. I'm excited that they're letting them flesh it out a little bit because uh, they both put in the time,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
so they kind of deserve it, to an extent. And I think that you want to talk about a guy who's over. I mean, Sami Zayn, when he comes out in the ring and starts speaking Arabic in Saudi Arabia, the crowd was insane when he started doing that.
I was actually kind of surprised, honestly, to see him over there and Kevin Owens, because years past when they went over, they didn't go.
Right. It was because of the conflict um, between Saudi Arabia and Sammy's uh, home countries.
Yeah,
And they just recently came to some kind of a detente. They've, they've stopped the war, and they're working on, peace talks and stuff. So that's the reason why he agreed to go.
fair enough. I mean, Vaughn, that's why I love you. I mean, you know all this stuff. I mean, I'd be
Yeah.
lost trying to talk about it all myself.
So yeah, that was why they were able to convince Sammy to go,
Nice. And
and
then,
and Kevin wasn't going because Sammy wasn't going.
yeah,
So that's why those two were not in previous matches there in Saudi Arabia. I was surprised to see him give Mustafa Ali a title shot against Gunther, but I
and
mean,
he held his own. I mean, I
he
give the
did.
guy
I mean,
credit.
he's talented. He really is. But Gunther is a beast. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just Imperium as a group is a very formidable faction. I mean, uh, even Kaiser is technically he's a great wrestler.
Hmm.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Those chops, they have to fucking go. I'm sorry. I was watching
Yeah,
that match on Saturday night, and some of those chops, I grabbed my chest, like, ow.
yeah, and there's no way to fake them. It's like
No,
when they come out of the ring, you can see the welts on their chest.
that's probably the one thing that still is real about wrestling is those chops.
Yeah, yep,
Well, Sheamus' thing when you pound your chest like this. I
yeah,
mean,
yep.
I don't know how your heart doesn't stop when he does it like 20, 25 times.
And the king of chops, Ric Flair, back in the day, man, he would just chop everybody.
Yep.
That was his thing.
Well, that's pretty much what Gunther does right now. He just like lays you out with it. And
Yeah, yeah.
then you
But I
got
mean,
Solo with
he's so strong.
how long do you keep the IC belt on him, or do you move him up to a main event picture sooner than later?
I don't think he moves up into the main title picture until after Brock's gone.
Fair
I
enough.
don't I don't think I think there's only room for one, you know,
Big guy.
immovable object, you know, to give
I'm
for
sur-
lack of a better term.
yeah, I'm surprised to see Brock still in there because I thought his contract was up.
Yeah, now he's just doing on a they're paying him on a match to match.
Probably still making good ass money doing that way though.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, honestly, if Vince hadn't come back, I think Brock would have left.
So,
He was this close to leaving.
hmm,
I mean, he had already said that he was done. He told guys in the locker room he was done, and he was just about to leave. And then Vince got control again.
which is crazy to think, but
And because it's all tied to MMA, you're thinking that MMA might start funneling some guys into WWE, and a guy who they might want to keep around just to help them with the transition is a guy like Brock because
yeah,
he's done it, or Riddle, guys that have come from that world, you know. But I mean, I don't know how many people are going to take direction from Riddle.
yeah,
Yeah.
not many. I mean, I had said months back when, especially after the one Raw, when you see Brock standing on the stage giving the double boot, it's like, okay, Lesnar's done. And then you
Yeah.
find out that WWE and UFC will merge and become one. I was like, this is going to be perfect. Lesnar goes back to UFC, leads a UFC invasion of
Right.
WWE, and
Yeah. I
then Survivor
remember
Series.
when we talked about that. I remember that.
Could that still happen?
It could. It could. Well, the other thing you have to look at too is there's about to be some massive talent cuts in WWE.
True.
probably next month. When the UFC, when they merged the companies, one of the first things that they stated was that they needed to trim some of the fat. They did the same thing when they bought UFC, the parent company.
Yeah, I mean, I know unfortunately, like there is a lot of roster that you don't really see much of.
No, because they're doing stuff. They're doing all the community stuff and the charitable stuff, and guys like Titus O'Neil and you know like Lita, um, different talent that's just out there doing you know all the goodwill stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be. I'm curious to see who does go.
You're going to see a lot. They're going to continue to trim NXT. I think, um, especially if Sean leaves. And I
Which there
mean,
was a report that he was considering it,
yes,
considering how much was taken from NXT with this past draft.
correct. I mean, it looks like they're gutting it, and then once they gut it, then it's going to go away. And I think then you lose. You know, you got a potential of losing a guy like Sean, losing guys like some of the other guys that are down there. What Fit Finley, uh, Scott D'Amore. Um, there's a few other guys that are down there too that are working with the talent down there. Ziggler.
Yeah, I mean, because Friday night I also watched a little bit of AEW for the first time in a while, and some of the people they have over there, like old people wise, surprised me. Billy Gunn's over there, and he's not badass anymore. He's daddy ass.
Yeah, because his son's there. Yeah,
And then Jeff Jarrett is still wrestling. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Jericho.
well, Jericho helped found it. You got Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, John Moxley, Dean
Yeah,
Ambrose. I
yeah.
mean, like, but they use their talent. I give AEW a lot of credit. They know how to use a big roster.
Sting.
Yeah, I mean,
Sting's there. I'll tell you what. Um, Somebody who's out there now at Impact, Santino Morella, is still funny as shit.
oh,
I
will
happen to
be.
be I happen to be flipping through the channels, and he's like an authority figure in
Oh,
Impact.
jeez.
So he's like a general manager.
Did
Oh my god, hilarious!
you still have the snake?
He's not wrestling though. He's just doing authority stuff.
But
I
could
haven't
you
seen him. I haven't seen him with the snake,
can you
the
imagine him
cobra,
bringing that out for like an interview?
the cobra.
God, because who's the one chick on AEW, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She does
Yeah,
like a mandible claw now.
yeah.
Surprised with COVID they didn't get rid of that, but like she literally sticks fingers in people's mouths. Like what the hell?
She's trying to get a molar out.
Yeah, I guess so. Because there was reports that she was going to jump over to WWE, but now
Yeah,
that Adam Cole, who she's with, is on AEW, that's obviously not going to happen now.
right. Well, they re-upped Adam Cole, and then she signed a new contract too.
True. I mean,
Because yeah, I think Adam Cole's burned his bridges with WWE though.
oh
I
god.
don't say never, but I think that they'd bring Punk back before they bring Adam Cole back, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot actually.
So
Yeah, that's all I pretty much got though. I mean, I heard just throw in a little bit of wrestling talk because we do have some people who are going to miss Turnbuckle Thursday, but
yeah,
it's still, I mean, it's entertainment, but it's also sports in a way.
right, yeah,
So,
and especially during times when some of the other stuff is getting a little quiet. I mean, it's good. Helps round out when there's nothing going on in Eagles Town, and you know and the Flyers are done, and Sixers are done, and this is
I,
that time of year, while you're waiting for training camp to start, and hoping the Phillies can, you know,
turn
hold
around.
it together a little bit, and maybe start to turn the corner.
92-73 Miami
Nice,
with 6 minutes left in the fourth.
nice.
I
Thank
like
you,
seeing I like seeing that.
Jimmy buckets. Boom.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about that next week. I mean it'll be in full swing by then, the NBA
Yep,
finals.
yep.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got for tonight. I mean, yeah, I mean, you have anything that you like to add? Any wacky sports news we should know about?
Nothing comes to mind right off the top of my head. I'm just checking to see how uh how Butler played tonight.
Gotcha. The only thing I could think of is with the PGA Tour that Michael Black, the what the hell they call it, the Club Pro
Oh yeah, yeah,
from Rochester, New York, last week at
yep.
the PGA Championship with that incredible hole in one on the 15th
On the
hole.
fly,
then
nothing but net.
he got a sponsor exemption for this past week. He didn't really do that well, but still, like the fanfare around him, like people were embracing him. He said he got a text from Michael Jordan.
Nice.
That has to be awesome. I mean, you go from
Yeah,
basically being nobody to
yeah.
now being like an internet sensation over one shot.
Well, it's funny that they had a recording of when they called when the tournament from this past weekend called them and said, "Hey, you know, we we have an available exemption, and we want you to come play in our tournament." And he was like, "Well, can you call my boss and tell him like, I got to take another week off?"
Cause
Butler had 23 points,
still like 6 minutes left, so he could add on to that. But
and Martin has 26.
nice.
So they were the two main scorers.
I mean, I can't. I'm still in shock how that game ended Saturday night. I don't know if you saw any of it or not.
Yeah, I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game though.
I watched the last 2 minutes, and I would not watch any of the game. The last 2 minutes, I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat because I've been pulling for Miami this whole entire series.
Yeah, it had to be a great watch that last few minutes.
I mean, I just couldn't get over it. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, Duncan Robinson, like Miami's best shooter, you got to make those shots. You have wide open looks like that, you have
Yeah.
to make those shots count.
Yep. You're right. And that's what you're saying. The players are doing their thing. It's like you can't coach that. You can't coach putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah,
You got a wide open look. You got to make that shot.
yeah. And then Jimmy Butler hit three clutch free throws with 3 seconds left. Like,
Yep.
you have ice water going for your veins to be that calm and collective when the game's on the line like that.
Yep.
But then to let them like have like a semi-contested open shot, but then you don't box somebody out. That is the number one rule of basketball. I've always been told and taught: box out.
Yep.
You box that out, that Derek White does not get to the basket, and you win the series. The series is over.
That is correct.
So I mean, just mind blowing. Even though I only watched 2 minutes of that game to see how it ended, I was completely shocked.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yep. And now Miami's moving on.
Good. Bye, Boston.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Uh, I'm just happy that they didn't come back and win that series 4-3.
Yeah, I was very much rooting for Miami in that.
Yes, I was too. From Detroit. Mhm. I was like, all right, Sixers are out. Fuck Boston. But
Yeah, exactly.
now I gotta go with my cousin. I gotta go with the Nuggets. Sorry,
There you
family
go.
first.
Yep.
Family first. But that should be an interesting final. But other than that, that's all I pretty much got for tonight.
Yep. I want to thank everybody who jumped in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mr. Simmons.
Kelsey.
Yep. We got our Monmouth update. Maybe she has more of an
Yep.
update next week for us.
We had Jack pop in. We had Sam.
Yeah. On Facebook and Twitch.
Yep. John.
Miz, which is awesome.
Miz.
And Barry.
And John had some great knowledge, man. I'm impressed with some of his views and stuff were very very insightful. And then Barry, you had at the beginning too.
Yeah.
Popping
I
in.
would let Miz know that you said that, and I'll tell him that you want him to pop in more often.
Yeah, absolutely. He clearly gets it.
Yeah. So this week coming up, tomorrow night, Miss Morgan's back in studio. We're doing our first entertainment night in probably about 4 weeks, almost a month.
Right.
I don't know what she has planned for that one. It's always a crazy show. Who knows? Cucumbers might be flying at me on that show. Just kidding. Wednesday, we're taking the night off. We are prepping a new show to start very, very soon, which will be hosted by me and Ron. Thursday, even though it was a very popular hit last week, we will not be doing Throwback Thursday every single week. That's going to be maybe a once a month type show where me, Morgan, probably my friend Shannon and Alan join the fun for that one. But for the other 3 Thursdays, we're going to try something different called Open Mic Night. We had talked about it a couple of months back, and I think we're going to run with it. So if you're in the chat on Thursday night and there's something you want to talk about within reason, I do have boundaries I do not want to cross on this show, we can talk about it. I mean, it's an open forum type conversation. We encourage people to jump in and talk with us. Let us know what you want to talk about. There's
Okay.
a lot of topics.
I'll say it. No
Go ahead.
politics, no religion.
Thank you, Ron.
Those are the two topics that we're going to try and avoid on that. So
Yes.
we can we don't want to start any wars. We don't want to bring down the vibe. We just want to entertain. And we don't need anybody taking sides and lining up and turning on each other
or coming
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this show is meant to just have fun. I mean, we're trying to find more ways to have you people interact with us instead of just sitting here listening to us talk. Mind you, some people actually enjoy doing that, but the chat keeps the show going. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
So, if you
and then the Wednesday show will be highly interactive as well. So
yes. And then for the first time in also a month, this Friday Night Movie Night is back. We haven't done it in a while, but this Friday we are going to do our Guilty Pleasures Night. So, playing pro football strategy. Nice. Jack, I hope you're enjoying your game. But, this Friday night is Friday Night Movie Night. First time in about a month since we've done that. And we're going to talk about our guilty pleasures. So if you have a list of movies that you'd like to watch, no matter how many times you've seen it, you always go back and rewatch them. Friday night will be for you.
Or you have a movie that you like, but you don't want anybody to know that you like. Like it's that one that, you're afraid that, oh, well, I'll give you one right off the top of my head. That gives you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. A guilty pleasure movie would be something like Spice World with the Spice Girls. And, it's a movie that, it did nothing at the box office. It was, panned by the critics. But, if it came on right now today, I'd sit down and watch it. Because it's the Spice Girls, it's music, it's fun. And I'll give it away. I watched Spice World many, many times. And no, not what you think. I just want to clarify.
How How do I respond to this?
Hand check.
I guess that you can say I'm guilty of watching her walk to remember.
Okay.
And I always cry at the end when she passes away.
Yep. Well, we don't want to give too many away. We got to
Nope.
save some of these for
Friday
Friday,
night.
but yeah, that'll be a good show. I'm looking forward to that one.
And then Jack's asking what's on Wednesday. It's not going to
Okay.
start this week. I think we're aiming for next Wednesday.
Yep.
So Wednesday is going to be a new TV and trivia night, Jack. We're going to try to keep TV and movies separate, but we're also going to play some trivia on Wednesday night. I know we do it sometimes on Tuesday nights, but we're going to instill it just on its own night. So if you like playing trivia, Wednesday night is the night that you're going to want to tune in. Mr. Simmons is going to hopefully explain to me and Ron how Kahoot works. We'll get some Kahoot going. I'll maybe make a Jeopardy board one week. We can play some Jeopardy. Just basically like a trivia night.
Yep.
Golden Girls. There you go, Jack. You got it already. So, yeah, a lot coming. We're trying to build the show back up from a little time off. We will have more time off coming. I don't know exactly what night yet. I will mention to you that off the show. But yeah, we want people to get more involved with us. We're trying to grow the community. We're striving for big bad numbers. I mean, we're doing awesome so far, but I'm ready to take it up that next notch.
Yep. Can we continue to spread the word? And we depend on you guys to help us do that. I mean, we are on a bunch of different formats now. I mean, we're adding formats. So now you've got not only Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Twitch, and
I'm trying to get started on Kick.
We're looking at Kick. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunity for people to jump in and get involved. We really like to drive that Facebook number because we did set a goal at the beginning of the year, and we're halfway there.
Yeah.
So and we're not into June yet, so we're ahead of schedule. But we need to continue to grow. We need to continue to share the word. Likes and follows are how you help us out. So make sure that you're encouraging anybody you know who might be interested in our content to check us out, or go onto YouTube and check out some of the former shows just to get a taste of what they could be in store for, and jump in and join us.
Yeah, everyone is welcome to join in on the fun. I mean, who knows? You may even see a familiar face popping in once in a while again in the near future. I mean, anything is possible on this show.
Anything is possible.
So, I mean, other than that, I just got an update. Congratulations to the Las Vegas Golden Knights beating the Dallas Stars 6-0 tonight to advance to the Stanley Cup versus the Florida Panthers. So you get your wish for shitty TV ratings, Ron. Here you go.
Yes. There you go.
And it looks like the Miami Heat's going to move on as well. Hallelujah.
I'll be watching reruns of Bar Rescue.
There you go. I mean, other than that, I will be back tomorrow night. Ron might pop in. He always surprises us sometimes on Tuesday nights. But Miss Morgan will also be on the show tomorrow night for whatever she has planned for entertainment night. That's her specialty. I just go with it. So we hope to see you all tomorrow night. But until then, have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping in.